Okay, I'm going to do an analysis on the IRS scandal that's going on right now, all right, from a detective's point of view. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a retired first grade detective, NYPD, 25 years experience. I must have investigated 1,000 cases and probably interviewed and interrogated just as many people, if not more. However, you know, I don't count, so I don't know how many. Somewhere around that number. Anyway, I'm going to give you a couple things to think about regarding this IRS scandal and a couple of red flags, something that you should be able to see that are very, very important here in this scandal. All right? This is going to be what a detective like me, this is something I would do to conduct this investigation. Now, we know that Congress has called in some of the bosses who ran the IRS, and that's all well and good and fine and everything, because, you know, the best thing for that is bring them in right away and see if we can catch them in a lie. All right, and apparently the testimony, based on what I've seen, was not that good, and they were very evasive, which tells me right off the bat that there's a lot more to this than everybody's thinking about. All right, so here's some of the red flags. First one was when President Obama was asked to have an independent probe, okay, into the scandal, he dismissed it. What does that mean? He doesn't want it. He wants his boy Eric Holder to conduct the probe. All right, so that an honest person would welcome that. All right, that's my first red flag as a detective. Any honest person would welcome it. All right, okay, so it would show no bias at all towards the president. The second thing is that Obama avoided properly answering a question when White House officials first knew the IRS was targeting conservative groups. All right, his answer was, "I assure you," and I quote, "I assure you, I knew nothing about the IG report before it was leaked to the press." Nobody asked him about the IG report. All right? They asked him if he knew the IRS was targeting conservative groups for scrutiny prior to the report coming out. That's what they meant. Nobody mentioned the report. That's a dodge. That is not an answer to that question, which tells me the president did know. And I'd be willing to bet a steak dinner and Bill O'Reilly. Okay. So next was the Wall Street Journal just reported on Saturday, May 18th, that an IRS watchdog told top Treasury officials what was going on in June of 2012. All right. This reveals the administration officials were aware in the middle of the re-election campaign. All right. Who was told, and who did that person tell? Did people close to Obama know, and did they tell the president? Why wasn't something done? This reveals a cover-up before the election because this would not be good for Obama's re-election chances. All right? Are other governments involved? Are other government organizations involved in the same type of action against conservatives? We need to find that out now. And we need an independent prosecutor to be able to do that. The ousted IRS Commissioner, Stephen Miller, testified in front of Congress last Friday that he didn't remember the names of those involved. Okay? He also called the problem bad customer service and their actions he considered just extra scrutiny. Who is he kidding? I mean, give me a break. I might have been born at night, but not last friggin' night. All right? This administration thinks that the American people are stupid. I mean, who could believe this guy's testimony? So you mean to tell me that some Irish employees just decided to do something like this on their own? They were experienced in this unit and knew the rules and purposely violated them. Okay, I got the IG report here. All right, and these next 6 points that I'm going to talk about, all right, are the beginning of the timeline of the report, the comprehensive timeline of events, right here. This is a redacted report, though. It's the only one I can get on the internet. All right, so, you know, there's probably some things in here that Congress probably have seen that I haven't seen, but I know a congressman mentioned that there were no names. That's the big thing in this report, all right? The IG report did not name any names of those involved in this scandal. No names. What kind of investigation is that? No names of who's involved. I mean, give me a break. If I wrote a report like this for my lieutenant on a case, he'd throw me out of his office and call me a totally incompetent. All right, so there's 6 different points I want to go through here. This is just the beginning. All right, this is my first blush assessment of this whole thing. Timelines are very important to me as a detective because it tells you everything. And once you have the timeline down, all right, you got the case down. And you know exactly where to go. The first thing was March 2010. there was a determinations unit group manager asked a specialist, all right, to search for Tea Party or similar organizations. Who was this manager? Who told this manager to start the search for conservative groups? All right? That's the first place I would start now. Then on March 16th, in 2010, acting manager of the technical unit requested 2 more cases to be referred to Washington, D.C. This shows a connection not just in Cincinnati, but also in Washington, D.C. All right? And who were they referred to? Let's get that name. April 1st, in 2nd, 2010, a new acting manager of the technical unit. Why? Why is there a new acting manager of a technical unit? Who was he? Or who was she? Who was that person? And why are they gone? June 7th, 2010, Determination Unit began training its specialists on issues to look out for, including Tea Party cases. All right? Who started that training? Who put that training together? And where did they get the information for the training? All right? And who allowed this training to occur? November 16th, 2010, a new coordinator contact for political cases was announced. Who and why? October 26th, Determinations Unit personnel raised concerns to the tech unit with approach being used to develop Tea Party cases. They raised concern about the approach for Tea Party cases. Now, did they have a problem with this approach? We're going to have to find out what that is. All right? Were liberal organizations given a pass or scrutinized the same as conservative organizations when they applied for tax-exempt status? Another big question. Now, this report tells us many things, but what tells me even more is what's not in this report, and that's what worries me. Did this action by the IRS have an effect on the election? Has our republic been hijacked by the far left-wing liberals in the Obama administration? Only a full-blown investigation will reveal the truth here. It appears this administration does not want one, and we cannot trust Attorney General Eric Holder to conduct a fair, unbiased investigation when his boss, President Obama, or others in his administration may be involved. This is a constitutional crisis which is caused by an abuse of power that may very well reach the White House. This appears to have been done to influence the election in Obama's favor by delaying approval of conservative groups' tax-exempt status until after the election. Americans need to be very, very angry because it's our very democracy that's in peril here. The abuse of power in our government cannot be tolerated at any level, and resignations will not be accepted as a response to this travesty. Criminal prosecution for all conspirators involved is the only response acceptable by the citizens of the United States in order to begin to restore some confidence in our government. If a special independent prosecutor is not named, Americans will lose what's little faith they already have in this administration. And that's it for today. There's more to come, so please come back.